Welcome to another week of Checking the Score. Adam Shelfer joined by Devin Fry. And Devin, great time of year to talk a little sports.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, some would say.
Interesting.
That song is about football season, if I recall.
They should, I don't know if an ad campaign has redone that song to tailor it for football, but if not, that's a
Is
great
it not for
opportunity.
football already? I thought that that's what it was about, because this is clearly the most wonderful time of the year.
It is. We got high school, NFL, college.
Any level of football that you wish could be playing, Canadian Football League going on right
football.
now? Flag football. Your league is getting very competitive from what I hear.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's football options wherever you could possibly look. And that's, for a true football guy like myself, it just warms the heart a little bit, you know? And that's what really matters, is that we're out of the dregs of summer where we had nothing current to talk about except for baseball.
Yep.
And now we're...
But baseball's a long season.
Yeah, it is.
People get, like, one of the things about football, in my opinion, is that, just to look at the NFL, it's 17 games.
Yes.
You know,
And
like college football, it's 13 games. Every game really, really matters. You can't afford to, at the NBA, you can lose 10 games in a row, still make the playoffs.
Exactly. And, like, that's one of the things about baseball that kind of, could turn off the casual viewer, is, like, you're going to, like, win and lose, like, 80 games or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's what you do with the rest of them that matters. But no, with football, every week matters, especially in college.
Yep.
When there's 130 FBS teams, and however many FCS teams as well, and they're going to whittle that down to 24 over on the FCS side of things and 12 on the FBS side of things to find a national champion. So every single win matters, and you're building that resume every single week. Who's off to a great start building their resume for this season?
NDSU.
North Dakota State.
And it's like a technically 1-1, but it's got more of a 2-0 feel to it.
I felt like I was terrible at my job last week when they were like, yeah, they got their first win of the season. And I was like, oh yeah, they lost that Colorado game. Because you just kind of you got lost in the moment of that game, and with how well NDSU performed.
Well, they lost a super close game down to the final play against a pretty good.
Yeah, a Power 4 team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, against any team in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Like, that's impressive. And so it was weird hearing that was their first win of the year, because in my brain, like, that Colorado game was very successful for NDSU. So
exactly. That's a good way of putting it. It was very successful. Obviously, they wanted the win, and they were so close to getting it. But it's a team that looks really good. I'm going to go ahead and say looks better than last year's team.
They seem to be more fundamentally sound than last year's team, especially on defense. They're getting multiple hats to the ball every single play. And that's one thing that they were stressing, is fixing that tackling issue that's plagued them over the past year.
Yeah. Last couple of years, it was an issue big time.
Getting back to fundamentals, and the defense is the reason. I mean, it was a 52-3 contest. Like, Tennessee State, they had some stuff that would give a lot of teams fits, especially on the offensive side of the ball with their the RPO style and their quick releases. But NDSU, Cam Miller, man, I haven't been tolerating the Cam Miller slander for the last couple of years, but I'm going to stop listening to it altogether. And it's gotten really quiet on on the socials as well. Cam Miller's finally getting some of the respect he deserves. And NDSU got to show off how deep they were. In these non-conference games, that's exactly what you want to do, is get some of the young guys out there. We saw Bryce Lance with his first career touchdown catch just there. Johnny Gores out of Fargo Shanley had his first college touchdown. We'll hear about that in a little bit. There's a big punt return from Johnny Gores as well. So he was one of the big stories.
What a move there by Gores. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, Johnny was out of control in this game. But we'll hear a little bit more about Gores later. But it was overall a massive team effort. When you have 5 guys get a chance to score for the first time in a college football game, it's a big deal. And this game also holds a special place in my heart personally. Here's his receiving touchdown. This game has a special place in my heart personally, because I was able to bring my dad to his first FCS game, and brought my wife and kid as well to their first Bison game. So Easton got a little certificate that says my first Bison
I saw
game.
that. I love those pictures.
With a little date on it, and you got a button. I don't know what we're going to do with that button, but...
Put it in a shadow box or something.
Yeah, my wife is into the scrapbooking idea. I'll let her handle that. But a big weekend for NDSU, and this non-conference part of the year, this is exactly what you want from them to really establish themselves. And I was talking to, it might have even been you, sorry, I'm terrible at keeping track of things mentally right now because I'm just so busy. But I was talking to somebody, and it just felt so different than their non-conference games in the last couple of seasons where, you know, like Drake was threatening to score early, or Drake did score early. This felt like a statement game, and they were looking at it that way, and they just kind of
52-3.
Yeah, they're continuing to reestablish themselves as the top dog.
Yeah.
And so, and I did want to mention before we move on to more NDSU talk, UND also incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
We weren't able to get any of our own videos, so I'm not going to be able to show it to you on here. Copyright laws, all that. But they were just so impressive in their rally over Montana. They were down, 24-7, heading into halftime, and then they came back and ended up winning that match. Just and also, I didn't expect to see a game-winning field goal in that contest. So they ended up winning 27-24, scoring 20 second half points to rally back and win that game. Just gutsy, a gritty win.
It shut them out in the second half.
Yeah, against a Montana team that was getting a lot of, they're coming off of a runner-up.
Last year's runner-up, come on.
Exactly. And so, I mean, Simon Romfo showed why he got that starting role, which is his ability to improvise and run around. His speed was a difference maker. And Bobby Houck even said in his post-game press conference, the quarterback run caught them totally off guard in that second half. So once Romfo was able to establish himself, the run game was able to establish themselves more, and then the defense, what they did to rattle Montana. It was the most impressive win that I've seen from UND since their NDSU victory last year. And I don't think that's a very hot take, but it's a very impressive performance for North Dakota as well. So I wanted to make sure that we established that.
Absolutely.
We're covering both of our FCS teams, and UND was just as impressive as North Dakota State.
And I talked to Eric a little bit the other day, and one of the concerns I had going into the season for UND was their offensive line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
only one returning starter.
4 brand new offensive linemen is incredibly difficult at any level.
And that was one of the reasons they were so successful last year, was they were able to, and you have to be good through the line in the Missouri Valley.
Right, yeah.
And so to be able to actually, they dominated the trenches against NDSU's defensive line last year up in Grand Forks.
That's what happened. That's what established them early in that game, and they just ran away with it from there.
And so I was wondering, is it going to even look the same? Well, it looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, and so we heard in the preseason from a lot of the faithful that really, really follow this program and love this program. They're going to surprise a lot of people this year, and they already did by beating Montana, and also they kept that insane home opening streak alive. They haven't lost a home opener since 1986, and that is
who was even in office? Is that Reagan?
In '86, I think so.
Yeah, that's gotta be.
It was either Reagan or HW, but we gotta look this up now. This is very important. I think you can learn more about who was president this time in
Ronald Reagan.
It was Reagan. Okay, when did George get voted?
That would have been like '88.
Got it.
I think. Well, did Reagan? Yeah, because Reagan didn't do 2 terms, did he? Now we're really off
well
the rails.
out of the
Reagan.
Reagan was still there in '88.
Okay, so election 1988, George H.W.
Got it. That's what it was.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was a fun little detail. Back to football now. But no, I wanted to just kind of, whenever I get a chance to show off some of our spotlight content, I want to be able to do it. And we had a really fun story with John Gores. We got to talk to him again yesterday. We heard from him post game, but we really wanted to talk to him again and kind of just get his thoughts on this wild weekend that he had, and just kind of the work that he's put in. It's kind of it's a good thing to see the ones that work the hardest get rewarded, and I think that's what we're getting with John Gores.
All right, I'm going to turn our mics down. I'll turn the sound up and go ahead and play this Gores package.
Being rewarded for some of my hard work that I put in over the years, and to see it finally starting to pay off is awesome.
The game of football is a beautiful thing, often rewarding players who work the hardest with success on the field. Bison Nation got to see that come to fruition with one of our local products having the game of his career. John Gores with his first receiving touchdown in front of his hometown crowd in their win over Tennessee State. And he wasn't done there. He also returned 3 punts for 83 yards, almost scoring on special teams as well. Quite the weekend for the Shanley grad.
It's definitely awesome. After the game, a lot of texts from friends, family, former teammates, and coaches. Just seeing the love and support that I got was pretty awesome. It's a dream come true. Growing up a Bison fan to now going out there and being able to play on Saturdays is definitely special to me.
It hasn't been the clearest path to Division I football for Gores. The 5'6", 167-pound receiver isn't exactly a prototypical college football player. Even head coach Tim Polasek had some reservations about keeping Gores at receiver.
The world tells him they're too short. I said he's too short. Jake said, you know, again, man, he's not rangy.
But as he continues to seize opportunities on the field, Gores is proving that his heart far outmeasures his stature.
You saw the way the team reacted. You know, that tells you a lot about the way a guy works. I'm just happy for John and his family.
It's pretty special. I mean, there was a point in high school where I didn't even know I'd be able to play at this level. So yeah, the fact that I'm here doing it now it means a lot to me.
And for any of those athletes out there who may also have these doubts about their ability to make it to the college level, Gores now has this one simple message.
Just keep working. You never know when your opportunity is going to come. All it takes is one guy going down, there's your chance. You got to make the most of it.
I said, gosh, that was such a good joke, and now it was wasted.
Nah, it's fine.
I'm going to say it again.
You guys have to guess what it is. Make them guess what it is.
Yeah, what did I say?
Anyway.
I said that was like Rudy, but better
But
and
better.
more accurate story.
And true, but no,
Yeah.
it was, you know, when the game was happening and I watched what John Gores did, I texted Eric and I was like, let's make sure we load up on footage of John
Absolutely.
Gores. This is a story that we need to tell, and it also has birthed arguably the best nickname in our area, which is Johnny Scores.
Oh!
That's something that can only come with that name, and so it's beautiful.
I'll buy a T-shirt. Get some NIL.
Somebody make a T-shirt.
There's an opportunity there.
I know somebody who has these kind of NIL openings is watching this. You have to be. Make a T-shirt.
I would rock one. I want to tell a quick Johnny Gores story.
Okay.
I was the first time I ever met Johnny was at the All-Star football game.
Oh, the Shrine game.
The Shrine, Shrine practice. And so, you know, I'm talking to just studs from all over the area. These huge, hulking dudes. Some high school stars, Carson Hegerly, former Bison.
Former #1 recruit out of North Dakota. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
A big name, big talent. Yeah, for sure.
But when I asked everybody, because I was relatively new to the football scene, I literally just covered like a week of playoffs the year before, and then the Dakota Bowl. And so I'm asking everybody, who's standing out to you the most? And everybody said Johnny Gores.
He's so. You saw his ability to move there, and like when you have that natural ability combined with hard work, it doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
The stature doesn't matter at that point, and so he's worked himself into a really good spot here. And yeah, I remember, God, it felt like his NIL signing was a couple days ago at this point that I was there, but it's time's flown, and he is seizing every single opportunity, and I think that's an important message in life as well as football. Seize every single opportunity.
Absolutely.
And work hard for him, and you'll get it. And you've seen what happens with Johnny Gores. But yeah, no, really fun weekend for North Dakota State. Now they're hitting the road, getting ready for East Tennessee State. They're just waging war on the state of Tennessee, which I'm not going to be for or against it, but I'm just going to stay out of it. I'm going to stick to sports.
Okay.
But
and then they have the Tennessee Titans the following week.
It's going to be a heck of a week. But no, they have East Tennessee State next. Unfamiliar opponent. They last played them, the only other time they played them was in the playoffs in 2021. So that's just almost a brand new team.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, East Tennessee State's playoff debut as well. And so East Tennessee State has been kind of grinding away. They lost to Appalachian State to start the year, which is an FBS program now. And then they beat the University of Virginia Wise by 60 points.
Virginia Wise?
Like Virginia is located in like Wise. I guess that's the town name. But they're a D2 school, and ETSU won by 60 points. So one thing that they do in that I was watching in those games is they line up in a ton of different formations. They give you a bunch of different looks. They have a 5-wide type concept with their receivers where it's like an air raid almost. They run pistol with a jet motion in it.
That's fun.
And then on 4th and 1 against App State, they ran up in like a T formation. So I mean, they have all kinds of looks that they are trying to and Coach Polisek puts it eloquently here, and I'll get to it in a second. But they're really trying to just find these kind of mismatches and force these kind of mismatches for their offense to succeed. Real high tempo. But yeah, we talked to Coach Polisek a little bit about what he's seen from East Tennessee State so far as they get ready to hit the road here, and yeah, there's more fun.
Here's Coach Polisek.
They're a real high tempo team. They have our attention just from that standpoint. They go fast. They have the ability to play fast like what fast was in 2013, 14, and 15 where people were moving. 100 snaps a game. I think this coach is doing everything to create edges, numbers-wise, formationally. That goes for their punt defense. That goes for their punt. Very exotic on their punt team. Devin's going to have our guys on top of their game assignment-wise. So I think he's just trying to cultivate stress on the opponent through formations. Again, making simple look really complex, and my hat goes off to him. He's doing a good job.
Devin, Coach Polisek said that you personally are going to have to.
I hope he was talking about Devin Kleiman, the safeties coach on the roster, but I hope that we spell our names the same. So that would make when I heard that in the press conference, because he was asking a question from me, and so he goes.
Did everyone look at you?
No, I thought to myself, I was like, what? He said Devin has to have these guys ready. I was like, what? But anyway, no. East Tennessee State, their second to last non-conference battle before. The conference play starts. They have Towson for homecoming the week after, so we're really kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty of the non-con part of the year, and then next up is Valley play. It'll be here before we know it.
Should be great. Should be great. Well, let's get into the last little part of our program here. NFL picks, and we gotta look at the scoreboard. So the way we're going to do this is we are going to unfortunately have to look at yours, Devin. We're going to look at mine, and we're going to look at the two guys who came in first this week in the little office group here.
Maybe I don't want to talk to the people who came in first. Did you ever think about that?
So Devin, I think you got nowhere to go but up. All right.
Okay, 10 out of 16 doesn't sound bad.
No, and it's not bad. And I actually did throw some letter grades on these just to be fun.
A D if you break it down.
Now,
like
if I grade it on a curve, though, it's a B minus.
Okay.
Because the highest was the 13, and so just going through these quickly here. So here was here. Oops, that's this week. Pay no attention.
Don't look. Look away.
Look at Eric. This was actually tied for the highest in the group. And so if we're grading on a curve, this is the highest score in the class here. Excellent, says Professor Shalafu.
Okay, who puts
on a B minus?
Who puts excellent on a B minus? You're too nice of a teacher.
Well, see, if it, like I said, thought about grading on a curve, but B minus, it's like medical school. B minus is acceptable. Actually, I don't know. I shouldn't speak. I've never been. I don't know how that goes.
Let's talk about your medical school experience.
And Gabriel, all right. Shout out for Gabriel here. The audacity.
The only person
to pick the Patriots.
The only person to pick the Patriots to beat Cincinnati. He's also a Patriots fan. That part needs to be made more clear, and that it was a homer pick.
Yeah.
Can we look at who did the worst? Do you have that? Right?
It was you.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. It was.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
Really?
You were tied for worst. There were a few 10 of 16s.
Oh, okay.
So here's
let's look at this. Stop looking at me.
Wanted to look at.
Man,
I do have some pulled up here.
No, it's fine.
But
it's
I
fine.
think
I'm over it.
Let's get into this week's.
I would make every single one of those picks again. By the way, those were all smart picks. Green Bay should have won. Baltimore,
I'm going to pull it back
Baltimore
up.
was a toe away from winning. New England should have lost to Cincinnati.
Well, I took Baltimore with you there.
The only one I guess I would change are these two: Denver and Seattle and Washington, Tampa Bay. Those were point flips for me.
Well, Tampa Bay, I'm thinking that Baker Mayfield's a pretty darn good quarterback at this point.
Baker.
Ooh,
anyway.
Another T-shirt. We're just making T-shirts today.
If you throw
I thought this was a little ambitious too, Devin.
I
Jets over San Francisco.
I'm gonna be honest. If you throw this matchup at me again in a week, I would pick it exactly the same way.
Okay.
I regret nothing.
All right, he regrets nothing, folks. Let's take a look at this week's slate of games, and we'll kind of go relatively rapid fire. Maybe some quick thoughts here. We got a show at 4 o'clock. You guys got to tune into.
Valley News Live at 4 on the CW, CBS, KXGB, KVOY, or CW. It's on one.
It's on Valley News Live.
Yep.
So we got Buffalo at Miami.
Going with the Finns because it's at home.
I'm going
That's
with
my-
the Finns because I feel like they're better than Buffalo.
Okay, that's fair. I can respect that.
Vegas at Baltimore.
I'm with Baltimore because Baltimore was a toe away from beating the Chiefs last week. And as far as I'm concerned, the Raiders aren't good. But I don't know for sure, I guess.
I think the Ravens are the best they've been in the Lamar Jackson era.
That's fair.
Super Bowl
This
contender.
is Lamar's year. But last year was also Lamar's year. He's
And
going to
they did
eventually
great.
run out of years.
He might run out someday. Chargers are going to wipe the floor with Carolina.
Let's move on. Me and 10 friends could do pretty well against Carolina Panthers this year.
I'll play. Dallas is going to beat your Saints.
I agree, 100%. As long as Derek Carr is quarterback, I will be picking against the Saints.
Okay, I've been back and forth on this one. Tampa at Detroit. Who do you got?
I went to Detroit. I think they're a better team.
Okay.
Like a better, like full-blown team.
Yeah, I'm also going
Why'd
with
you look at me
Detroit.
like that when you have the same pick?
Well, I mean, I do one with my dad.
Oh, okay.
And I actually went with Tampa because I like to throw some upsets in there.
Yeah, no,
I
same.
could see for the work league here, if you will, I'm going with Detroit. I really think that Tampa's got a ton of weapons. I think that they have two good running backs in Bucky Irving and Rashad White.
Rashawn White's very, very good.
Receiving room super deep. Godwin and who's the other guys?
Evans.
Like Evans.
Yeah.
Excellent
Future Hall of
every
Famer
year.
Mike Evans,
Like
yeah.
I said, I believe in Mayfield. I really like their coach.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, I forget his name already.
Yeah.
But
He's
yeah,
good.
He's
Todd
good.
Bowles.
Yes.
Todd Bowles. Cleveland, I don't think they're in a really weird situation because I feel like if they start Jameis Winston, they'd be a lot better than Deshaun Watson, man. I don't know. I don't want to get too far into the
Yeah,
weeds
well,
here, but the NFL,
He might not be quarterback this week.
he
so.
maybe shouldn't be in the league. I'll say that
And
and,
that's
leave
it.
it there. San Francisco. I saw you going with the upset here. I think they
did.
do take care of business. Now, tell me why the Vikings pull the upset in against San Fran. It is at home.
This Vikings defense is really solid.
Yes, and it got really good last year,
Right,
too.
and under O'Connell's offense so far, Sam Darnold has the second best quarterback rating in the league.
Against the Giants.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I think Sam thrives in those kind of systems. I call him Sam because he went to USC, and I love USC, so he's
Okay.
I'm on a first
He's
name
your
basis.
friend.
I'm sure he would call me Devin. But no, I'm going with the Vikings just because I think their defense is really good, and I think Sam Darnold does really well in this kind of quick throw. Offense, and I really think that he's going to be able to thrive against San Francisco's defense. The big thing about what this offense does is it takes San Francisco's D-line out of it because Sam's getting rid of the ball so quickly. The Vikings barely have a run game, but
Oh, Aaron Jones was pretty good last week.
against the Giants. But
Against the Giants.
I think their quick throws kind of take San Francisco's terrifying front seven a little bit more out of it.
Okay. New England hosting Seattle.
I went with the Patriots, I guess.
went with the Patriots, I guess.
I mean.
They just looked really
I
good
don't know.
last week. The defense is really good. I think they're really well coached.
Now I'm going to do a thing where I pick the Patriots every week. So when Drake May has his first really good game, I could be like, see, I told you, I'm really smart. That's all of these are for ego.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Good
That's how I roll,
strategy
man.
there. New York Jets
right.
visiting the Tennessee Titans. I feel like this is the game Aaron
bounce back
Rodgers
game.
looks like Aaron Rodgers.
Big bounce back game. Did you see the clip of Will Levis falling to his knees?
I
after
did.
throwing that
I
interception?
loved that.
I thought that was fun.
That was fun for me. Washington Commanders hosting the New York Giants, and the Commanders will command.
Hey, I'm going with the Commies as well.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Giants are going like 0-20. They're going to extend the season just so they can lose more.
Like, we need to make you guys lose more games.
Yeah,
this
we're
year.
going to see how long this can go. No, it's bad there.
It's gross. Yeah.
And micro tangent here, Malik Neighbors. Everyone's like, "Oh, take Malik Neighbors in fantasy." I was like, "I'm not taking him.
But someone has to throw him the ball.
Someone has to throw him the ball." Like Daniel Jones,
And
come
is it
on.
going to be Daniel Jones? That's
Jeez.
to decide.
Rams. I got them over Arizona.
Also went the Rams.
I think the Rams
looked-
are good.
The Rams looked better than I thought. And this isn't a slight. Like I thought they were going to be fine, but they looked better than I thought they would.
They got
Against
some
Detroit.
issues, but they're a good team.
And yeah, Puka being out hurts, but also if you're going to be missing one of your top receivers against anybody, Arizona's probably the team to do it. So no, I think the Rams are going to be fine. And Matt Stafford's still doing it with everything he's been through, like between age and like just what he put his body through in Detroit for so long. Matt Stafford's very impressive.
They have a lot of good pieces still in place. Not a contender, but good.
But good.
Now, I think we're different on this one. You have Denver beating Pittsburgh.
Do you see what else I wrote?
Gross.
I wrote gross because
Yeah.
this
This
gross
is the
game.
worst game of the week for you?
in my opinion. Like of all of these games, I will turn them on for something when I'm going through Sunday Ticket. I see Pittsburgh versus Denver. No, thank you. I'm fine.
It might be like the commercial my father and I used to just turn the radio off if it came on. There was a certain jingle in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah, those are the Denver Broncos.
And then one time, my dad and I were driving, the jingle comes on, and we both like start reaching for the radio, and then I want to be rude, and like, then I'm like, oh, sorry, I was just turned that off. When he's like, oh, that's what I was doing. Oh, that's
okay,
what I was
good.
doing. So, but yeah, it's one of those games. You might just turn your whole television off.
I go hang out with my family.
I think that Justin Fields has a lot to contain. I think that Pittsburgh defense is good. It's going to be check downs o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
And I just don't like that. I don't think that wins football games. Give me Pittsburgh on the road.
I don't have a reason for why I picked Denver.
Altitude. Just say altitude.
Sure.
Makes you sound
They
smart
gotta
like a
play
scientist.
mile high, it's thin air there. I was there, I could say that.
Yeah,
thin air out
you
there.
know.
Yeah. I had to watch
Kansas
it.
City hosting Cincy. I feel like this is a fun rivalry.
Yeah, it's kind of become
Burrow
one.
against Mahomes.
It's this generation's version of God. What were two? I guess it's not our version of Brady Manning.
It might be.
No, that's Lamar
And Mahomes?
That's Lamar and Mahomes.
Yeah.
Or is that Allen and Mahomes? How many
It's
Tom
Kurt
Brady's
Warner and-
how many Peyton Mannings does Patrick Mahomes have?
It's Eli Manning against Steve McNair. No, I'm just.
Interesting.
No,
No, we're rolling with that now. Anyway, but no, I went with Kansas City because I think Kansas City is good.
Yeah, I
And
think Kansas
Cincinnati
City
has
is.
a lot to clean up, and they got exposed by a who knows how good they are New England Patriots team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas City until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Hollywood Brown
Mm-hmm.
and what kind of impact he can have on that roster. I think just a good fit football-wise. Chicago visiting Houston, Sunday Night Football.
With Houston, big CJ Stroud guy. That's all I have.
Okay.
I don't really have much more of a reason. I told you how high I was in Chicago last week because of Hard Knocks, and they hurt me.
They
hurt
won.
Me.
But
They
it was
did win.
so ugly.
They did win.
It was so hard to watch.
Yeah.
It was so painful. It was 17-0.
Yeah.
They won 24-0 or 24-17.
I'm also such a massive Caleb Williams fan, so seeing him win in that game, I was like, poor Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb did not play great. I think he bounces back. Chicago gets a huge win. Houston defense didn't look that great against the pass last week, so we're going to see how it goes.
No, they didn't. But yeah, we'll see what. And I mean, Chicago has the weapons for a really good passing
Yeah.
attack. We haven't.
Romo Dunze and Keenan Allen both didn't practice today.
I was going to
however.
ask if Rome was out because I thought I had heard that. But
So Rome is out.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, no, not great. Okay,
I'm still going Chicago.
That's
what the
fair.
heck?
All right.
Battle of the Birds.
Philly.
Yeah.
I went with Philly. I don't really think I need to justify it that much. Kirk looked like he's still injured. I don't know if you saw, someone broke down his drop back, and it just looks different.
Is that what you're trying to jump him off to me in fantasy football?
Yeah, will you take him, please?
No.
But no,
Tape him and release him.
Kirk looks like he's still hurt. And I don't know. The Falcons didn't impress me last week, and they're Philadelphia is still a really decent squad. So
Saquon Barkley, holy
yeah,
cow.
oh man,
The dimensions he adds.
proved me wrong. Made me look dumb. But anyway, no, I'm going with the Dirty Birds. What are the Falcons? I'm going with the Clean Birds,
Okay.
the Tidy Birds.
I
Not
like
dirty.
that. Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts needs to be better,
Yes.
but I think that the Eagles overall are vastly superior to Atlanta.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
even Russ Thomas, big Falcons fan, said it's a lock that the Eagles win that game.
Yeah, but I say the same thing about the Saints every week. Do I believe it? No, but I have to say it.
Trying to do some
Sound
jinxing?
humble. Yeah, reverse jinxing.
Sure.
Sort of thing. But anyway,
Thank you, Devin. That's all we got today.
I'm going to do better.
And I do believe a bounce back week is coming for you. And it's a long season. You know, we're going to see how these go throughout the year, kind of take a look at who did the best on the picks. But it was a tough week. It was a weird week in the NFL. That week one in the NFL is always just strange.
You don't know what's
You don't know what's going to happen.
It's not quite as chaotic as college, but it's up there.
Yeah, we'll be in mid-season form soon enough.
You'll see.
All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to tune into our local broadcast, Valley News Live, 4 o'clock news show, starting in just about 5 minutes here. Until next time, this has been Valley News Now. Adam Shelf with Devin Fry.